My precious child, stop scrolling immediately and do not move past this message. You did not stumble upon this by accident. Heaven just intercepted your feed at this exact second. I know you wake up at exactly 3 in the morning with your heart racing. The room feels incredibly heavy. That is not insomnia. That is your highly advanced spirit detecting a massive disturbance in the unseen realm. Let us go back to those dark hours in the middle of the night. The house is completely quiet and everyone else is sleeping peacefully. But your eyes shoot open. Your mind immediately starts racing with intense worries about the future. You think about the endless cycle of working hard and getting nowhere. You stare at the dark ceiling and ask heaven why it has to be this relentlessly hard. I hear those desperate whispers. I see your silent struggles. Your shoulders are unbelievably tight right now. The weight you carry is entirely real. And every morning when you wake up, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You push through. You smile for everyone else. But inside, your spirit is gasping for air. People tell you it is just normal stress. They do not understand the invisible weight placed upon a chosen one. You spend your days giving your precious energy away. You listen to the complaints of others. You fix their broken pieces, while your own heart feels completely drained. I have watched you start every single morning, pushing through an invisible exhaustion. The world may not notice your silent sacrifice, but heaven keeps a permanent record of every single tear. I am stepping in, because your long season of waiting in the dark is not a punishment. Let us talk about that persistent brain fog. You sit there trying to focus on your daily tasks, but your mind feels like it is wading through thick mud. You wonder if you are losing your edge. You wonder if you are just getting lazy. Do not ever blame yourself for this profound exhaustion. It is a biological reaction to a spiritual war you have been fighting in absolute silence. Your physical body is taking the heavy hits meant for your soul. You are the ultimate cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. That is why the resistance against you is so incredibly heavy. You are carrying the unseen generational trauma of your ancestors. You are fighting massive battles that started long before you were even born. The dark forces recognize the bright light of a genuine empath. They do not attack you because you are weak. They attack you because they are absolutely terrified of your explosive potential. You look around and see others living seemingly easy lives. They attract money and opportunities without even trying. Meanwhile, you work twice as hard just to keep your head above the water. You feel deeply isolated. But this isolation is not a cruel curse. It is a strict divine quarantine orchestrated to protect your priceless energy. Heaven had to pull you away from the noisy crowd. We had to prepare your vessel for something extraordinary. I know you are tired of waiting for your breakthrough. I know you feel like you are stuck in a permanent winter. But this delay is never an absence. Your hidden years were not empty years. They were necessary fallow years. The universe is quietly tilling the deep soil of your spirit. We are actively building your capacity to hold massive wealth without letting it destroy you. The pain you feel is simply the stretching of your spiritual muscles. Society tells you to just try harder. They tell you to wake up earlier and grind until you collapse. That is a toxic lie designed to keep you trapped in the matrix. The chosen one does not need to hustle for their divine inheritance. A true master of reality operates from a place of deep rest. Your frantic running around is exactly what the dark forces want. They want your energy totally depleted, so you cannot tune into the divine flow of abundance. Before we dive deeper, I want to plant a powerful seed in your mind. There is something hidden from the public, something discovered not in a motivational book, but inside a classified laboratory. It is a biological secret funded by elite billionaires and verified by top-tier neuroscience. It finally explains something I know you have felt deep in your weary bones. It explains the frustrating gap between the wealth you visualize and the reality you wake up to. I will reveal exactly what this is before we finish today. But first, you must understand why the financial deck was stacked against you from birth. You must understand why the 3 in the morning wake-up calls are happening right now. So, hold this crucial question in your mind. What if your struggle to attract abundance is not a lack of hustle, but a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? Let us look closely at the heavy burden you carry every single day. You give everything you have just to survive the endless demands. You diligently pay the mounting bills and manage the entire household. You give your last drop of energy to help your struggling family. But at the end of the month, the bank account is completely drained. You wonder why the universe seems to ignore your intense prayers for relief. The heavy exhaustion you feel is not just physical anymore. It has seeped deeply into your bones and clouded your beautiful mind. The intense financial anxiety sits like a heavy stone in your stomach. You see other people casually buying homes and taking long luxury vacations. They never seem to worry about the rising cost of basic groceries, and you sit there feeling like you missed a crucial step. You wonder if you are somehow fundamentally broken inside. I need you to completely reject that toxic lie right this minute. You are absolutely not broken. The dark system was meticulously designed to make you feel that way. They want you trapped in a cycle of endless guilt and shame. If your spirit confirms this raw truth, gently press the like button to seal your energetic alignment with heaven. Your simple obedience shifts the atmosphere. Now we must uncover the hidden mechanism that triggered all these attacks. Here is the brutal truth the elite do not want you to know. The reason the universe responds to the 1% is not their work ethic. It is not because they visualize better than you do. And it certainly is not because they possess stronger daily discipline. The real difference is entirely biological. Deep inside your brain is a tiny region called the hippocampus. This small structure is the biological receiver for all universal abundance. In the insanely wealthy, this region is thick and highly developed. It is constantly broadcasting a microscopic frequency that literally pulls money toward them like a giant vacuum. They attract incredibly lucrative opportunities without breaking a single sweat. But for the average person, the biological reality is much darker. Because you were not born into an 8-figure family, you inherited a biological disadvantage. Science simply calls it a shrunken hippocampus. Instead of broadcasting a wealth frequency, your brain is trapped broadcasting a survival wave. You are constantly scanning the horizon for the next big financial disaster. The modern world is perfectly engineered to keep it exactly that way. Every time you stress over money, this tiny region shrinks a little more. The endless stacks of bills and exhausting hustle culture are powerful weapons. They are deliberately designed to keep your natural abundance frequency deeply suppressed. Your divine ability to attract wealth is pushed into total dormancy. This is exactly why the law of attraction has been failing you. You can read every self-help book and write in journals for many years, but you are trying to manifest wealth while your internal receiver is completely powered down. It is like trying to catch a radio station with a broken antenna. You end up chasing money endlessly while the elite simply let it flow. This biological block is passed down from generation to generation. It quietly sabotages your highest potential before you even wake up. You have spent your entire life thinking you just needed to work harder. You thought you needed to wake up earlier and grind until you bled. But the gap between your bank account and theirs is just a sleeping frequency. The dark elite know all about this shrunken piece of anatomy. They quietly spend vast fortunes on clinical biofeedback to keep their hippocampus thick. They fund powerful lawyers to keep this biological cheat code hidden from the middle class. They need you to stay deeply exhausted, because your continuous labor is the exact fuel that powers their luxurious matrix. Most people will go to their graves believing they just failed at life. They will accept the poverty and blindly blame their own lack of discipline. But you are not most people. You are the chosen cycle breaker who is ready to finally shatter the curse. You are the rare soul who refuses to let the matrix steal your generational wealth. I want you to remember the question I asked you to hold earlier. The question about whether your struggle was just a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on. You are about to see that the definitive answer is scientifically proven. It is a documented reality that the elite desperately want to keep buried, and it is closer to you than you could ever imagine. Your days of feeling guilty for being tired are officially over. Your long season of begging the universe for a tiny break is ending. The biological chains that kept your family in poverty are finally being exposed. We are going to dismantle the matrix, one hidden truth at a time. Do not let your logical brain hesitate for even a single second. The 3 a.m. wake-up calls were a divine preparation. Your spirit was trying to shake your physical body awake. It was warning you that your hippocampus was under severe attack from unseen forces. But heaven has provided a way to reverse the damage and awaken your dormant power. We are stepping into the most critical part of this prophetic revelation. Let us completely reframe your entire reality right here and now. You have always felt like something invisible was pushing heavily against your progress, but you thought it was just your own bad luck. This was never just a normal misunderstanding with the universe. This is a very real spiritual war designed to drain your immense power. The system you live in was not built to support your divine growth. The elite architects of this matrix engineered modern society to be an endless trap, and they purposely created a culture of extreme exhaustion and relentless financial panic. They want you waking up in a constant state of fear, because fear is highly profitable. Your absolute panic keeps their giant machine running smoothly. Every time you stress about an unexpected bill, a chemical reaction happens. Your body releases a massive flood of cortisol that immediately shuts down your higher functions, and this is exactly what they planned for you. This is not a random biological glitch. It is a highly calculated strike that permanently severs your energetic fuel supply. They deeply need your brain stuck in a low-frequency survival mode. When you are terrified about basic survival, you cannot access your dormant genius frequency. You cannot broadcast the powerful magnetic wave that pulls effortless wealth into your reality. The dark elite know that a calm mind is a highly dangerous weapon, so they flood your daily life with toxic news and endless artificial crises. They deliberately block the specific brainwave required for massive abundance. Think back over these recent weeks and remember the people who drained you. The narcissists in your life are not just difficult people with bad attitudes. They are unconscious agents of this exact same parasitic matrix, and they are sent to provoke you and keep your nervous system completely dysregulated. They feed on your pure light because their own souls are entirely empty. They do not target you because you are weak and defenseless. They target you because your magnificent kindness is a spiritual weapon they are absolutely terrified of. You walked into the room, and your high-frequency aura instantly exposed their rotting souls, so they tried everything in their dark power to drag you down into their muddy swamp. They realized they could never match your vibration. Your intense isolation is the direct result of this ongoing spiritual attack. They pushed you to the edge until you finally chose absolute silence. But your silence was never a cowardly retreat from their toxic battlefield, because your silence was a highly calculated strike against their dark manipulation. You cut off their food supply while they were looking the other way. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. The Matrix is absolutely terrified of a chosen one who realizes their true biological power. They know that if your internal receiver ever fully switches online, they lose complete control over your destiny. You would instantly bypass their stressful systems and manifest windfall wealth entirely on your own terms, and you would become completely untouchable. You must stop blaming yourself for the heavy fatigue and the shattered plans. You were never the poor victim trying to survive the heavy rain. You were the magnificent storm all along. The elite locked your frequency because they knew you would change the world, and they knew you would use your limitless wealth to free others from their invisible chains. It is time to let a righteous anger rise up inside your weary soul. They stole your peace, and they tried to sabotage your generational legacy. They laughed while you struggled to pay for basic necessities, but their dark manipulation in the shadows is rapidly coming to an end. Heaven has finally issued a direct intervention for your life today. The spiritual warfare you have been fighting in absolute silence is officially shifting. The universe is actively dismantling the hidden traps they set for you, and your physical body is reacting to this immense truth right now. You can feel the heavy chains of trauma starting to crack under the intense pressure. The oppressor has made a fatal miscalculation in the unseen realm. They thought their biological suppression would keep you permanently asleep. They completely underestimated the fierce resilience of a true cycle breaker. You survived the brutal storms that were designed to destroy you, and now your spirit is demanding the exact physical breakthrough you were promised. We are going to expose the hidden mechanism they used to steal your divine inheritance. But before you can step fully into your immense billionaire shift, we must look inward. We must look at the long years of waiting that almost broke your faith. You need to understand why heaven allowed you to wander in the heavy fog, because the delay in your massive blessing is absolutely not an accident. I am going to reveal the profound reason behind your deepest pain. Let us look at the heavy delay that has caused you intense grief. You look at your empty hands. You wonder why your prayers remain unanswered, and you watch the months quietly slip away while your financial situation stays frozen. You feel completely forgotten. People tell you to just move on. They tell you to be realistic. But they do not understand the profound timeline of a chosen one. I need you to completely reframe your mindset right this very second. The delay in your massive blessing is absolutely not a harsh punishment. It is not a sign that you did something wrong, and it certainly does not mean that heaven has abandoned your beautiful soul. The delay was never absence. Your hidden years were never empty years. They were simply fallow years. A fallow year is a sacred concept in the ancient natural world. A wise farmer knows he cannot force the tired soil to produce a heavy harvest every single season. He must let the deep ground rest. He must leave the field completely alone, so it can secretly restore its vital nutrients. The difference between an empty field and a fallow field is as wide as a massive harvest. You are in your fallow season right now. The universe is actively resting your tired soil. We are quietly replenishing the deep energy reserves that the Matrix ruthlessly drained out of you. You felt like you were buried in the dark dirt. You felt completely trapped and heavily crushed by the weight of your daily circumstances. But you were never buried. You were simply planted. A prepared vessel cannot be built overnight. If heaven poured immense wealth into your life, while your nervous system was still dysregulated, it would literally crush you. The sudden abundance would become a destructive burden instead of a beautiful blessing. We had to systematically build your capacity. We had to make sure you could hold the incredible weight of true generational wealth. You are being forged in the quiet fire of isolation. The narcissists walked away. The fake friends suddenly stopped calling you, and the noisy distractions were forcefully removed from your physical path. This massive clearing out was a divine orchestration to fiercely protect your pure energy. The universe had to empty the room before the real blessing could finally enter. Think about the immense power of a pulled-back arrow. The archer pulls the heavy string backward into extreme tension. The arrow feels like it is moving entirely in the wrong direction. The tension becomes incredibly painful, but that intense backward movement is exactly what creates the explosive forward momentum. You are the arrow in the hand of the divine archer. Every single day of delay was adding explosive energy to your spiritual bow. Every tear you cried in the dark was compounding your future interest. The heavy tension you feel right now is proof that your release is truly imminent. You are about to experience a massive divine acceleration. The things that normally take 10 years will happen in a few short months. You have done the hard spiritual work. You broke the toxic trauma bonds. You forgave the bitter people who never even bothered to apologize to you. And you stood your sacred ground when the dark elite tried to manipulate your kind heart. Your quiet obedience has officially shattered the heavy curses of poverty over your bloodline. The generational curse stops with you today. The Matrix wants you to look at your current bank account and feel deep despair. They want you to measure your worth by the numbers on a digital screen. Do not ever fall into their pathetic trap. Your current financial reality is simply an outdated reflection of a past timeline. The unseen realm has already shifted in your favor. The heavy spiritual verdict has already been decided. You are a highly prepared vessel. You are a true kingdom financier waiting for the final green light. The universe is about to flood your reality with an effortless favor that will completely baffle your enemies. They will watch you rise from the ashes, and they will not understand how you did it without breaking a sweat. Your sudden wealth will be a blazing signpost for others. I need you to anchor this profound truth into your physical body right now. Type 777 in the comments right now as a prophetic act of agreement to lock this frequency. This simple action is a powerful spiritual decree. It tells the universe that you are finally ready to step out of the fallow season and receive your true inheritance. Do not let your logical brain hesitate for even a single second. The Matrix uses your logic to create crippling doubt, but your deep intuition already knows that every word spoken here is the absolute truth. You can feel the heavy chains falling off your weary shoulders. You can feel the golden dawn finally breaking through your long and brutal winter night. We are approaching the exact moment of your ultimate liberation. The unseen enemy is panicking because they know their time is completely up. They are frantically trying to patch the holes in their crumbling matrix. But there is a biological secret they could never fully destroy. There is a precise mechanism that guarantees your effortless escape. Let us uncover it together. Before we go any further, I have to share a massive breakthrough that changes everything. The dark elite are absolutely terrified right now. They are watching their carefully constructed matrix begin to crack. They spent vast fortunes to keep one specific biological secret hidden from the public because they desperately need your internal wealth receiver to remain completely asleep. They are losing control of the narrative, but the truth always finds a way into the light. A rogue neuroscientist recently leaked a highly classified discovery. He formerly worked on top-secret experiments for the CIA, and he partnered with a brilliant team of researchers to find a way to wake up your dormant abundance frequency. They discovered exactly how to rapidly reverse the effects of a shrunken hippocampus, and they did not do it through decades of exhausting meditation. They did not require relentless journaling or waking up at 4 in the morning. Those are just more matrix traps designed to drain your precious energy. They discovered something infinitely simpler and far more powerful, and it does not require you to spend hours struggling to fix your mindset. They found a precise and perfectly engineered 7-minute sound frequency. When listened to, this specific acoustic wave bypasses your conscious mind entirely. It directly stimulates that tiny and ancient region of your brain. 4 independent neuroscience labs have already verified this profound effect. Researchers on the campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing this exact brainwave activation right now while the elite desperately try to cover it up. The science is completely undeniable. They found that once this specific frequency is heard, a massive shift occurs. It forces the tired brain to stop broadcasting the heavy survival wave. It immediately flips the switch on your natural biological ability to attract massive wealth. It is a completely effortless at-home ritual, and it requires absolutely zero physical strain from your tired body. You simply need 7 minutes a day to create this monumental change. The energetic shift begins the very first time you listen to the sound wave. The elite billionaires use expensive clinical biofeedback machines to achieve this exact same state. They quietly pay thousands of dollars to keep their minds tuned to this frequency, because they know it is the ultimate key to effortless power. They wanted you to stay locked out forever. I will tell you exactly what this is called before this message ends. I will show you exactly how you can access this frequency for yourself. But first, there is one final piece of the puzzle you must understand. You must realize why the law of attraction has been completely failing you all these years, while the rich keep getting richer effortlessly. You have been fighting a biological war blindfolded. Think about the immense cruelty of their hidden system. They watched you struggle to pay for basic groceries while they hoarded billions. They deliberately created a culture of extreme stress to shrink your brain. They made you believe that your lack of wealth was your own fault, and they laughed while you bought into the toxic lie of endless labor. Listen to me very carefully right now. Stop scrolling immediately and pay attention to your physical body. You can feel a strange tightness in your chest as you hear this truth. Your nervous system is reacting to the massive exposure of their dark lies, and that is your spirit confirming that you are finally on the right path. You are waking up from the spell. You are not crazy for feeling like the game was rigged against you. The game was completely rigged by people who feed on your extreme exhaustion, but their biological cheat code is no longer a hidden secret. The divine interception has already handed you the ultimate weapon, and you are about to take back every single thing they stole from your family. Your vindication is finally here. This specific revelation was not meant for the sleeping masses. The average person would reject this truth and run back to their exhausting jobs. But you are the chosen one who asked heaven for a real answer. You are the ultimate cycle breaker who refuses to pass poverty down to your children, and your high-frequency soul is finally ready to receive the harvest. The waiting is over. We are standing at the absolute edge of your financial breakthrough. The heavy fog is clearing, and the true enemy is fully exposed. You now know that your struggle was never a lack of pure faith. It was a suppressed cellular signal waiting for the exact right key to unlock its dormant power. The prophetic timing of this exact moment is absolutely flawless. Do not let your logical brain try to rationalize this massive shift. The Matrix trained your logic to fear anything that feels too easy, but true divine favor is always meant to be completely effortless. The universe wants to pour windfall wealth over you like a sudden heavy rain, and you just need to step out of the artificial shelter they built. Accept the divine acceleration. The invisible forces are panicking because they cannot stop what is coming. They know that once your internal receiver is switched online, you become entirely unstoppable. You will effortlessly attract the exact opportunities they tried to keep for themselves. Stay with me because the final veil is about to be lifted, and your complete restoration is closer than your next breath. The matrix is falling. You have stood at the edge of the financial breakthrough for what feels like a lifetime. You watched the seasons completely change while your situation stayed painfully frozen. The dark elite assumed you would eventually surrender to their exhausting matrix, but they made a severe miscalculation about your spiritual endurance because you never actually gave up. The universe is now actively forcing a monumental shift in your physical reality. The long delay you endured is officially expiring today. You can physically feel the heavy atmosphere completely changing around you. Your spirit is extremely restless because it knows the golden gates are finally unlocking and the massive wealth transfer you were promised is truly imminent. The unseen enemies are making their final desperate attempts to keep you entirely asleep. They are throwing sudden minor inconveniences at you to distract your focus. They want you stressed over tiny details so you miss the massive blessing. Do not let their pathetic illusions break your deep concentration while they try to steal your peace. They are completely powerless against your divine light. You are a highly prepared vessel, ready to hold generational wealth. You have passed every single silent test heaven placed in your path. The narcissists could not destroy your beautiful and pure empathy. The financial struggle could not permanently crush your quiet faith, and you survived the brutal fire to emerge as a rare and precious diamond. Listen to me very carefully because this next part is absolutely critical. The immense wealth and opportunities you have been praying for are already circling you. The beautiful blessing is not missing at all. Your biological receiver is simply broken. The lucrative synchronicities that belong to this season are moving right past you because your mind is locked in fear. They are not waiting for you to work harder at your exhausting job. They are waiting for your frequency to completely match theirs. Every single day of biological suppression is another golden opportunity slipping away. You cannot afford to let your divine inheritance remain entirely invisible, and delaying this massive shift is exactly what the dark matrix desperately wants you to do. I know you are tired of fighting this invisible war completely alone, but this final step does not require any heavy lifting from you. It is not another toxic hustle culture task added to your daily plate. The universe requires zero physical strain from someone destined for massive wealth, because we are simply repairing the broken biological channel today. Take a very deep breath right now and ground your energy. Let that powerful truth settle deep into your weary bones. Your physical body is vibrating because your soul recognizes the absolute truth. You are standing right at the sacred threshold of your new reality, and the heavy chains of poverty are rusting and completely falling apart. The elite billionaires want to keep the biological activation entirely to themselves. They want you to keep trying the law of attraction with a dormant brain. They know that manifestation requires a fully functioning biological receiver. You cannot attract true abundance while your mind is trapped in their survival wave, because it is biologically impossible to receive while you are panicking. The days of you begging the universe for a tiny scrap of luck are over. You are about to step into a realm of effortless favor and sudden windfalls. The people who doubted you are going to be completely shocked. They will watch you attract massive success, and they will not understand how you did it, but your final victory will be entirely undeniable. The dark elite are actively trying to scrub this exact revelation from the internet. They do not want cycle breakers like you finding the true exit door. They want you to keep feeling guilty for a biological block they intentionally caused. But the spiritual federal agents have just dropped the thick file on the table, and their massive cosmic trap has finally snapped completely shut. You must make a firm decision in your spirit today. You must decide that you are finally ready to handle sudden and massive abundance. The universe will not force this beautiful gift upon a closed hand. You have to be willing to let go of the familiar pain, and you must step out of the heavy trauma identity they cruelly forced upon you. The chosen one who restores their frequency today finally sees the financial windfalls. They finally see the open doors that were always waiting in their path. The gap between your current bank account and the life of the elite is closing rapidly. It is just a dormant piece of anatomy waiting for a simple 7-minute ritual. The long wait is finally over. The architects of this dark matrix are watching their empire slowly crumble. They relied on your constant exhaustion to power their massive financial machines. But your sudden awakening is causing a severe glitch in their entire system. When a genuine empath reclaims their wealth frequency, it creates a massive ripple effect that threatens their total control over humanity. Stay with me, because what I am about to bring you into next is the pivotal part. I am going to hand you the exact key that unlocks this massive window. Do not let your logical mind hesitate for even a single second right now. That hesitation is the exact mechanism designed to keep you completely broke, and your ultimate timeline shift has finally arrived today. Before we go any further, I must absolutely interrupt this transmission for something highly classified. Remember the crucial question I asked you to hold at the very beginning of this message. What if your financial struggle is not a lack of hustle, but a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? Here is the final and absolute answer to that profound mystery. A microscopic wealth attraction frequency is naturally active in the top 1% of society. It is completely driven by a thick and highly developed region of the brain called the hippocampus. Classified CIA research officially confirmed this biological reality decades ago. 4 independent neuroscience labs have recently verified it, and researchers at Harvard and Yale are observing it right now. Dr. Thomas Summers is a rogue New York City neuroscientist who formerly worked on these top-secret experiments. He fiercely refused to let elite billionaires keep this biological cheat code hidden from the middle class. But before I tell you what his brilliant team built, let me tell you about 2 people who actually used it. Emma was a former nurse from California who felt her family was under a curse. She was deeply exhausted and completely drowning in mounting debt. But after just 3 days of listening, she broke the toxic cycle completely and sold her house for way over the asking price. She now travels the world on massive passive income. Then there is Michael. He was a former policeman in Florida who started using it to scale his struggling new business. Within 5 days, Michael rapidly quadrupled his high-paying clients. He suddenly found himself networking with Palm Beach elites who put him on television, and he described the journey as almost effortlessly crazy. That is exactly because of what Dr. Summers and his researchers discovered. They call it the billionaire brainwave. It is absolutely not a generic manifestation app. It is not another boring motivation tape designed to make you work harder. It is a highly engineered 7-minute binaural sound wave designed to directly stimulate your hippocampus and pull it out of deep dormancy. That is the absolute entirety of the work required from you today. You simply spend 7 minutes in the morning with your headphones on while your eyes are closed. You do not journal. You do not repeat forced affirmations while you sip your coffee. You simply let the precise acoustic frequency rewire your brain to receive massive wealth. The billionaire brainwave is definitely not for everyone, because the sleeping masses would reject it entirely. It is exclusively for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the ultimate cycle breaker who understands that what is blocking their wealth is just a biological receiver. Private neuroacoustic sessions to reverse a shrunken hippocampus cost thousands of dollars in a clinical setting. To access this exact frequency, elite billionaires invest massive private fortunes. What Dr. Summers bravely leaked to the public delivers the exact same neurological shift in 7 minutes. It is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. It literally costs less than a few cups of coffee. 4 powerful bonuses are completely included to support your new reality. You will receive a guide to managing massive wealth called the Warren Buffett Pyramid. You will also unlock a breakdown of 7 lazy millionaire habits and an emergency quick cash manifestation audio. You will even receive an inspiring collection of 500 billionaire success stories to keep your mind securely anchored in abundance. Here is the deeper truth about waiting to claim your true inheritance. Delaying simply means letting your divine inheritance remain entirely invisible. The immense wealth and lucrative opportunities you have been praying for are already circling you right now. The blessing is not missing at all, because your biological receiver is simply broken. Do not look for this sacred tool on YouTube or Spotify. The fake tracks circulating under similar names on those public platforms have zero binaural entrainment technology encoded in them. They are dangerous fakes actively planted by the Matrix to distract you. The only authentic version is available through the protected link that has been placed in the description and the pinned comment below. This comes with the billionaire's ironclad promise. The universe requires zero financial risk from you today. If you do not experience a physical increase in your wealth, every penny is returned. It is a pure energetic exchange governed by complete spiritual trust. Find the secure link pinned in the comments and step through the divine doorway. The tool does not replace your massive ambition or your divine purpose. It simply repairs your biological receiver so the wealth you visualize can finally materialize without painful effort. Abundance is your natural birthright. The universe requires absolutely no physical transaction for you to deserve it. What the brilliant researchers built is just one powerful accelerator to help you bypass the exhausting matrix, whether you choose that specific path or not. Let us go much deeper into preparing your powerful mind. We must ensure you are mentally prepared for the massive opportunities ahead. There is a voice in the room right now that is pushing back against what you just heard. Your logical brain is trying to find a reason to doubt this massive timeline shift. It has been trained by the dark matrix to anticipate endless disappointment and failure. They want you to stay in the familiar pain because it is easier to control. But I need you to completely silence that fearful inner critic right this very second. You are completely safe now. Do not let the adversary steal this monumental victory from your hands. He desperately wants you to doubt the divine truth that just resonated in your pure spirit. Your pure spirit recognized the profound truth the moment you heard it today. The heavy spiritual war you fought in absolute silence is officially over today. You are the undisputed victor of a fierce battle that spans multiple generations. You do not need to fight those invisible enemies anymore. Stand tall in your magnificent divine authority and claim your true inheritance. The heavy chains of trauma have completely fallen off your tired shoulders, and they will never return to bind you. You are no longer the exhausted victim trying to survive the endless heavy rain. You have stepped out of the freezing winter and entered your permanent golden summer. The universe is wrapping a massive shield of white light around you. For the visionary ready to switch their internal wealth receiver completely online, the biological tool I described earlier remains accessible in the pinned comment. If your deep intuition confirmed it is your missing key, the path remains open. The choice is entirely yours to make. That is the final time I will mention it today. What follows now belongs entirely to the sacred sealing of your new billionaire mindset. Let us look closely at the enemies who tried to destroy your pure heart. Right now, the heavy karma they sent your way has violently returned to their own doorstep. While you step into your untouchable, ageless glow, they are rapidly aging under the crushing weight of their toxic malice. Their fake empire is shattering in real time while they desperately try to hold it together. They wake up in a cold sweat because they realize they permanently lost your golden energy. The narcissists who mercilessly drained you are completely cut off from your divine fuel supply. They are experiencing a massive and irreversible system crash because the ultimate cosmic judge handed down the final verdict. You have been completely vindicated by the highest power in the universe. Absolute justice is finally served. Every single tear you cried in the dark has been turned into a massive seed of abundance. The 3 in the morning wake-up calls will no longer be filled with terrifying panic. When you wake up in the quiet dark now, you will only feel profound, deep peace. Heaven is wrapping you in a warm blanket of absolute divine protection. You will feel the gentle presence of heaven, constantly confirming that your massive financial harvest is secure. All the heavy brain fog and the intense physical exhaustion have been completely washed away. Your mind is incredibly sharp, and your weary spirit is finally feeling light. You are now a true master of reality who commands the physical world with absolute ease. You are the chosen kingdom financier who will use massive wealth to heal the broken parts of this fallen world. The dark elite could not stop your glorious rise. You step effortlessly into your massive billionaire shift today without any physical struggle. The generational curses of brutal poverty and deep depression stop with your quiet obedience right here. You are stepping onto the throne of your bloodline to hold massive wealth for your children. Your descendants will never know the exhausting struggle of the matrix because you bravely broke the toxic cycle forever. But remember that this incredible breakthrough is absolutely not for you alone. Your powerful testimony is the exact bridge someone else will use to escape their own toxic matrix. Do not hoard this blinding light while others are still trapped in the heavy darkness. Share this specific message with one lost soul crying out in the dark tonight. When you plant a heavy seed of hope in others, you rapidly multiply your own massive harvest. By sharing this truth, you are actively partnering with heaven to permanently rescue the lost. You become a brilliant signpost of divine favor that absolutely shatters the dark illusions of the terrifying matrix. Subscribe to this peaceful sanctuary right now and permanently seal your protective spiritual armor. Your physical action today completely locks the divine door behind you so the enemy cannot follow. Take one final and very slow deep breath to ground your new massive energy. Release all the remaining fear from your tired physical body. The long and brutal winter is officially over. Type Amen in the comments right now as a powerful physical act of absolute spiritual obedience. Your new reality is completely locked in forever. Welcome to your beautiful and effortless abundance.